Well, guess won't need this anymore. And here is the replacement. Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali. Now, I feel like Ali here is kind of a holy grail in the Unmatched community scene because I feel like we've been waiting for this guy to finally be a part of it. And not only did they bring us Muhammad Ali, but they brought Bruce Lee back so that he doesn't cost $200 to play as. And I didn't have him for the longest time, but now that I have Bruce Lee, as you saw in the beginning there, I have the single pack. I absolutely love him. I'm sad that I didn't get to buy him sooner because he's never in stores and he cost a couple $100. Luckily, I was able to snipe this one for pretty cheap, but now we don't have to. We have Lee versus Ali. So a few things I do know about this one. I believe that Lee here, his deck should be the exact same, the card back and the art should be the same, but the text is slightly different, not different effects, but just they worded it better to better match the new version of Unmatched that we now have. And then they also changed his pose so that you're not getting screwed over by buying the exact same thing twice. So yeah, let's definitely crack into this. I do want to check out the box a little bit more. I absolutely love how they did the art here. And it's always nice to see some new art from all the fantastic artists that they get for us. Just absolutely love the artist that they picked for Muhammad Ali here. He seems very classic, Unmatched. I honestly don't know who the artist is, but it almost reminds me of Bullseye's art. So I wonder if maybe it's a similar artist there. But yeah, there is the art that we already had from them. I believe that is the same as the front of the single box. And then, as I said, I tried to show it myself, so I didn't see this box anywhere else. But the first thing I noticed whenever I took it out of the box is that they changed the bottom. So I don't know if this is going to be a new thing that they continue to do, but usually, like if we grab another box here, they give us one more piece of art. So now instead of art on all four sides, we have art on three sides with something different on the bottom here. I don't know if that's specific to this 2-pack or if that's how they're going to do it going forward. I hope they don't, because I love having art on all four sides. And then the other thing I noticed is this is the new back, and I think I hate it, because what's going on here? I mean, like, all the other boxes from Unmatched all have a very similar back here, showing both of the miniatures, a little quick quip about who they are, their sidekicks, some cards, and then the whole like board so you can see what the full game looks like. But instead we just get a zoomed in of these two miniatures, so it's kind of hard to tell what the game looks like. And then also, okay, 1 million copies sold. That's great, guys. I love that for your restoration games, but I don't need to know that on my copy. Like, put that on your website or like your Instagram or something. Anyways, I'm definitely being a hater here. Let me open this up. But yeah, I'll try to be a little bit nicer going forward. As you can tell, I'm a little bit reluctant to change, but I'm definitely reluctant to all the boxes in the same series changing so that one looks a little bit different. Now, if I happen to stack them this way, this box would look different than all my other boxes, but it's such a small thing. So I'm gonna let that go, but let's open up here and we can see some more art. Luckily, they did not get rid of the art on the sides here. Very, very fun. I mean, this art looks really, really good. I'm excited to see his whole deck. Some art from Bruce Lee that we all have already seen. As I said, I don't think they changed any of the art there. I believe that's the Shape of Water or Way of Water, whatever that one is. And then, okay, we got a pamphlet here from Restoration Games real fast. We can see a couple of our other Unmatched sets. We got the Turtle set. Hopefully this is going to show up in the mail next. I'm very excited for that one. Dark Tower. I've not gotten into this one because I'm scared I'm going to like it too much and have to buy all of the expansions. I did get into Thunder Road. I only have the first one. I have not gotten the other ones, but it's fantastic. And I need to calm myself down because I will spend a couple $100 getting all the other ones. And then the other two that I have not tried at all, but maybe we'll have to check those out. So now that we got the advertisement out of the way, we're still doing this core rules thing. I believe this should look the exact same from all the other ones, and I like that they've done this. So since I already have one of these, I can toss this and just keep this one. So we'll have to look through this in just a second, but we can do a quick glance here. Yes, that was the one thing I also did see, is that they are doing a 2-stance thing, and I have not seen these tokens yet, so I don't want to spoil myself too much, but we'll take another look at that when we look at the actual decks here. And then we have our dials here, and then there's that token that we can take a quick look at. I like that it's a boxing ring as the outline there. Very, very cool. I'll put that back for just a second. And then I'm noticing, I wonder if this is like the map art in the background. Very, very cool. And I believe this is the exact same dial, but we'll take a look at that when we look at them in more depth. And then here is our map, and they gave us double-sided boards again. And this is the Sing San Monastery. Hopefully I said that somewhat correctly, but very cool. I like the art. It's very vibrant. This green is really popping out in that yellow. very, very nice. I'm guessing this is the Bruce Lee side. And then we have the Muhammad Ali side. I did happen to see this one on Instagram here. And this is the Thrilla in Manila. Unfortunately, I guess I don't know too much Muhammad Ali lore, or else I would know what, like, if this is a specific ring that he has fought in. But very, very cool. I like how it kind of almost looks messy with things kind of broken apart. Like, this is after the show and Bruce Lee shows up, and now they're gonna fight while he was sparring with somebody else. Very, very cool. Always nice to have more two-player maps. And then here we go. Here's the guys. I'm gonna save Bruce Lee for just a second. We can take a quick look at Muhammad Ali here, and that looks really good. This looks fantastic. Maybe a little bit more brooding than I would suspect, but he definitely looks like he's gonna pack a punch there. I do like the red color that they chose. And a quick look at our deck here, and interesting, we do not have a quote, but I guess it's because there's not enough space for one. And then there's our Bruce Lee deck that definitely, yeah, looks like the original one, but this is the new miniature, so we'll have to pull out, push that back in there. We'll have to pull out the other miniature to compare, but it's nice, actually fun. This is the first time we've gotten a clear peg. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of it, but we'll see if in play maybe it'll be more fun. But yeah, so that's everything that comes in the box. Very usual to Unmatched. Just obviously we've seen a few changes here, but let's go ahead and go through all the decks together, and then we can kind of see how they play. Okay, let's start off with Bruce Lee here. Now, I don't want to go through his whole deck because we already have seen this fighter for years now, so I just kind of wanted to go over the major changes and the new stuff. So the biggest, newest thing here is his new miniature, with him doing his flying kick there on top of this clear pole. I know this one's a little bit controversial, but I actually like it. I do think he's very stable. He doesn't seem like he's gonna fall over. Never mind, I guess he does fall over. How embarrassing. It kind of reminded me of the Spider-Man one, but I don't feel like it's that crazy. One thing I do want to point out, so we can bring out the original Bruce Lee here, is that we are losing the sparkliness of the original Bruce Lee, but I do like that it's kind of like hey, this is the OG, this is from the single pack, one of the first ever sets released. So people who got the original still feel special for having it. But I'm a little surprised they went lighter on the base instead of keeping this kind of gold color, just without the sparkles, because now they don't even feel like they are close to the same color. This is definitely way darker. But the other thing I wanted to point out is this one feels weirdly cheaper. And it's not only that, like, the actual base itself here is thicker, like this yellow plastic piece is not as thick as what we're used to, but you can also kind of see a gap all the way around. If I pull Bruce Lee off his base here, you can see, let's see if I can find it, there's one little ridge bump here that is what keeps kind of pressure on the plastic piece to actually keep him clicked in. On the new one here, he's a little bit scared to pop out because of this piece here, but you can see there's a notch there, a little like bump there, bump there, bump there. So they have it all around the outside, so it creates this kind of gap. Once again, I'm being very nitpicky here, but when you look at all these different sets, it's kind of the little things that definitely stand out. And then I'm kind of like, how flat the base is here is kind of boring, but I do like it. I wish maybe there was like rocks or something on the bottom, but it looks very cool. And I do want to, since this is a very unique one, I do want to pull in Triss here, or Yennefer, I can't remember which one this one is. But you can see once again how like this yellow base is quite a bit thicker, not quite a bit, but a little bit thicker than the new one here, and it doesn't have that noticeable gap all the way around. So it's probably fine. I mean, I probably will keep using the original here with the sparkly base. I potentially could swap bases here, but I do like the flying kick. I'm just a little sad that this plastic base just kind of feels like almost a little bit cheaper for some reason. Maybe it's just in my head and it's new, so it feels different. But yeah, so that's the new miniature there. And then we also have the new health dial, and it's basically the exact same from the original. The new one is just ever so slightly darker, if that makes sense. You can kind of see it a little bit more in camera, but in person it's about the same here, but it's just a little bit darker, a little bit more saturated. And the cool thing is that you can tell which one's the new one because they added the LLC marking here for Bruce Lee Enterprises. So you won't be ever confused if you only have one in your hand because you can just check the back. And they did it on basically all of the components. So it's very cool that you will not get bamboozled into buying the original and then get, sold the newest one like a crazy markup. So you will be able to easily tell the difference there. And that does continue on our hero card here, because you can see on the new one, we have this new text here of that Bruce Lee Enterprise text. It's not on the original one, but everything else is the exact same except for they did add the title for his hero ability there, which I like that they did that. They didn't keep it as the original. They're giving us the new title abilities. It would be very cool to maybe buy, I don't know how many there are, maybe like, gosh, it might be 16, 18-ish heroes that don't have this. And it'd be nice to just buy a pack of these that have all of these new hero abilities named for all the previous ones. But yeah, that's basically the exact same there. And then with the deck here, we can grab the old one as well. And the old one is ever so slightly darker. So once again, a little bit weird. The new health dial is darker, but the old deck card back is a little bit darker. And it could just be the specific deck that I got, but you can tell it's just ever so slightly darker. And then his name was slightly moved up so they can make room for that Bruce Lee Enterprises LLC marking on the bottom there again. So nothing here is crazy exciting. Only if you have all the collection and you care about Unmatched as much as I do, that these little tiny things are what you fixate on and notice. I mean, in gameplay, he's going to be the exact same. It's these little tiny differences that'll make me decide which of the two decks that I want to use. But yeah, the other cards in here that are a little bit different, I do want to point out, if we bring in the old card here, so all the cards should have the exact same effect, but they might be worded ever so slightly different or have ever so slight, like, quality of life changes, I'll say. You can see the Jeet Kune Do here, or Jeet Kune Do, is a little bit thicker. They emboldened it. They didn't keep it bold in the old one, or not keep it, but they didn't originally make it bold. So that is a slight difference. I do think this looks better. So I did like what they did there. And then if we go and find Nunchaku, all the way in the back here, and I can bring in the old one here, you can see that they just ever so slightly changed the wording. The original one said, all of Bruce Lee's attacks this turn are +1 value, gain 1 action. And the new wording is, add +1 to the value of Bruce Lee's attacks this turn, gain 1 action. And I do feel the new wording feels just a little bit smoother. And then the last thing I wanted to take a look is at Little Dragon here, because that was our foil from the original Bruce Lee here. And as you can see, it's basically the exact same thing. They just kind of changed the spacing of the card itself, or I guess they removed of this card there and just says becomes sick. So once again, the effect is the same, just the way they word is a little bit different. It's basically, can I use the new deck with the old Little Dragon here? And from the back, as you can tell, they're ever so slightly different. You will be able to tell if you're drawing Little Dragon if you keep the foil. So I think because I want to have the new, actually, you know what? I take it back. There, you'll see at the end of the video, but there is a new foil with a Bruce Lee signature on the card. So now it's going to be tough to decide which deck do I want to use when I play as Bruce Lee. But hey, maybe we'll do a 1v1 old Bruce Lee versus new Bruce Lee, a actual mirror match there. But yeah, that's basically all the differences that I could find. I'm excited to go online and see now that I can stop trying to hide myself from spoilers to see if there's other changes that I missed on Bruce Lee here. But yeah, now we can get into the good stuff. Let's get on to Muhammad Ali. And now the man we are all here for, Muhammad Ali. I'm so excited to play as this character. Like literally once I'm done recording this video, I'm gonna go play a match with them. Very excited. So I'm excited to see what they do with this deck. I literally tried as hard as I could to not have spoilers for this version of the deck. I've heard some inklings of like the playtests and different things, like some ideas and like where the deck started with the original one that Joseph Jacobson made. Very excited to see where they finally landed in now that we have Muhammad Ali in the game. So we saw his miniature there. We can take a quick look at his health dial a little bit more in details. I like all the stars here, and then I like the different ropes going around there. Very cool details. I always love how they interpret this character, like the world they live in, into all the little details, such as the health dial here. And I do want to point out that the 0 is a KO, and I just love a 0 special icon. So I'm very grateful that they did that. So let's go right into his deck here. We can start with his hero card. So it looks like Muhammad Ali here is going to be a melee fighter with 16 health and 3 move. And his ability is a beautiful swing. Begin the game with your stance on float like a butterfly. After you attack, if you won the combat, change stances. Float like a butterfly is you can attack from 2 spaces away. Sting like a bee is add +2 to your attacks. Okay, very cool. So big hit or being able to attack from 2 spaces away. Definitely very interesting. I like that he comes in the box with Bruce Lee there, because float like a butterfly is going to let you create, like whenever Bruce Lee takes his 1 step back with his hero ability, you're going to still be able to attack him. But it seems maybe that there'll be cards in the deck that'll change this, but I like, it's kind of interesting that you only get to change after you win a combat. You can't just decide to change it. And if I'm not mistaken here, this side is going to say the exact same thing. Yep, you can attack from 2 spaces away and +2 your attack. So just a nice little token to keep track of what stance you're in. Cool. Let's get into the deck here. We can take a quick look at the card back. I have already seen this one, and I definitely really like how they had the ropes going around the outside, like you're inside the ring, and then the ropes ring around the bottom and the top to make the border. If this is the direction we're going with the card backs, I absolutely love it. I think this is a gorgeous card back. Sometimes they're make or break it for me. I'm still not sure I like Annie Christmases or the Wayward Sisters, but the Wayward Sisters are growing on me. But let's get right into this deck. So starting off here, we have a 2 attack for Ali with 2 boost 3 copies, and this is the Ali Shuffle. Gotta have this card. And then I believe here, if we are in this stance, we're gonna get the ability, during combat, you may boost this card. After combat, if you won the combat, shuffle a non-scheme card from your discard pile into your deck. Very cool. So it's very interesting because this is going to be a hard hitter no matter what, because you either get to boost it if you're in the butterfly stance, or you're going to get that +2 from the sting like a bee. So, okay, Muhammad Ali here is going to be hitting hard punches. That's what I like to hear. So next we have a 1 attack for Ali with 3 boost 2 copies, and this is Jab. After combat, draw 1 card, gain 1 action. Move your fighter up to 2 spaces if you are in the butterfly stance. So very cool. And I'm going in completely blind here, so I have no idea what's coming up next. So I was like, I feel like some of these cards are like, oh, that's good, but it depends on what else they can do. So next here we have a 3 attack for Ali with 1 boost 2 copies, and this is Stronger Than the Skill. After combat, look at your opponent's hand. If you won the combat, shuffle 1 of their cards into their deck. Dang, that is very fun. I mean, this could potentially be a 5, so you might be winning pretty often, and you get to look at their hand regardless. So that is very fun. And like, if you're in the float like the butterfly, or yeah, float like a butterfly stance, and you're able to get this to proc and you get the damage in, you'll be swapping to your Sting Like a Bee, and you could potentially get rid of the only defense card they have in their hand, or know which card to play next, so you're gonna get that big damage. I mean, he is sounding scary. And then, ooh, this one is interesting. That is so fun. I feel like we've not seen any effect like that in the game before. This is a 4 attack for Ali with 3 boost 2 copies, and this is the greatest. After combat, if you dealt 6 or more damage this turn, gain 2 actions. And we get 2 of those, so that is very interesting. I mean, if we're getting a couple damage off of this into that +2 to get more damage off of this one, this will be a 6. Yeah, and you just basically get a whole nother turn. I mean, I guess Hamlet could end your turn. There's also cancel effects, but he seems pretty scared if he's getting up in your face and then he's gaining 2 extra turns, and he has 2 times to do that. And now we got our versatiles here. We have a 4 versatile for Ali with 3 boost 2 copies, and this is Champion of the World. After combat, move a fighter in the combat up to 2 spaces. If you're in float like a butterfly stance, you draw 1 card. Now I gotta keep remembering that a lot of these cards are gonna be potentially always be +2. So that's kind of scary. And it definitely, I guess your opponent is gonna know it's coming, and he can know to block your float like a butterfly to keep you in that stance if he wants to make sure that you don't get into your big damage stance. And next here we have a 2 versatile for Ali with 1 boost 3 copies, and this is Stick and Move. If you're in the butterfly stance, it's during combat the value of your opponent's card becomes its printed value and cannot change. That is such a fun effect. I like that they're doing that. And then after combat, deal 1 damage to an adjacent fighter. So potentially not even the one that you chose to fight with. Cool. Next we have a 3 versatile for Ali with 1 boost 3 copies, and this is Close and Clinch. Immediately place Ali adjacent to the opposing fighter. Neither fighter can leave their space this turn. That is so fun. So I like that it's a versatile, so you can either force your opponent to stay right next to you so you can get your next attack in, they can't run away with their card, or if they are like a ranged fighter is attacking you from a distance, this gets you right up next to them and they can't run away. That is such a fun card. I think this might be my favorite so far. And then next here we have a 1 versatile for Ali with 3 boost 2 copies, and this is Fancy Footwork. Immediately move Ali up to 1 space. During combat, if Ali shares no zones with the opposing fighter, ignore the value of their opponent's card. Very cool. Okay, so if you're right on the edge of a zone, this will get you right out of the zone, and then you're just ignoring the damage. So definitely a very good defense there, but I guess it potentially is a 3, so you could get 2-3 damages off if you're the attacker in that case. Very interesting. Next here we have a 3 versatile for Ali with 1 boost 2 copies, and this is Momentous Shift. During combat, if your fighter started this turn in a different space, this card value becomes 5. I always love to see the new Momentous Shift cards here. Very cool. It's like he's breaking through the bottom of the boxing ring there. Now we're on to our defense cards here with Ali, and this is a 2 defense with 3 boost 2 copies, and this is Rope-a-Dope. And if you are in the butterfly stance, after combat, if you lost the combat, Ali recovers 3 health. that is very, very interesting. So, I mean, obviously you have to be in the butterfly stance, but if they attack you with a 5, it's basically 0 damage because you're recovering 3. But I guess if you die, the game's over, so you're not going to get that recovery there. And then next here we have a 2 defense for Ali with 2 boost 3 copies, and this is hard to be humble, sorry. And this is a butterfly stance. During combat, look at your opponent's hand, so we're getting multiple of those effects. After combat, move Ali up to 2 spaces. So I like how we're getting a lot of movement on our cards, which I feel like is perfect for a boxer there to be constantly moving around. And also I've noticed that all his defense cards like to have the butterfly stance as part of it, which I guess makes sense because he's being light on his feet and he's making sure he can dodge all those punches. Now we're getting into our schemes here. This is a scheme for Ali with 2 boost 2 copies. And this is Answer the Bell. Move Ali up to 3 spaces. Ali recovers 2 health, gain 1 action. So dang, you can get right up in their face, heal up a little bit, and this card is free. That is very, very fun. I guess, yeah, it's super thematic. The bell rings and he's getting up into that fight. And then next here we have a scheme for Ali with 2 boost 2 copies. And this is the Louisville Lip. Ali recovers 1 health, draw 2 cards. If you want to combat this turn, each opponent discards 1 random card. Dang, that is fun. I like that. He's smack talking, recovering up, drawing 2 cards, and making all of his opponents discard. So if you're playing a free-for-all, this affects everybody. I guess you're on the news smack talking all of your opponents, not just the most recent one. Very, very cool. So that is Muhammad Ali. I mean, I'm gonna have to try out this deck and see how it plays, but I'm definitely very, very excited. It seems like they did a very good job with this deck. So let's get to the final thoughts. So before I wrap up this video, I did end up pre-ordering this one. I don't know if they also sell this in stores, but if you pre-ordered, you did get some foils for both decks. Don't want to bend them in. Let me be nice and gentle here. So we got a foil for both Muhammad Ali and for Bruce Lee, and the way they did the foil is the actual card art is not foiled, but there's a foil signature. As you can see, we have Muhammad Ali on the bottom there, and then we have Bruce Lee across the art there. And that just looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, usually when I get foil cards, I don't want to go put them in a binder. I don't want to go hide them because I want to see them. But this is one I'm like, yeah, I feel like I might want to frame this and put it up somewhere, like in the game room, like in a little shadow box right next to each other. Very, very cool. I'm very excited to have these. But yeah, so before we go, if you have not owned a box of Unmatched before, one thing that Restoration Games does absolutely fantastic is their inserts. So I always like to show how everything goes back into the box because they do it absolutely fantastic, better than most companies. So you can see everything has an exact spot to fit in there. So then we fit the deck on top of there, as well as Muhammad in his spot, so that as he's rattling around, you're not worried about that miniature bending or breaking or getting any damage. And I gotta make sure I remember the correct ones to put in, not the old ones. And then we got Bruce Lee up top here, as well as his miniature. And then on top of those, we place the map, as well as our rule books. And then finally, the lid. Guys, I'm so excited to go try this out, so I gotta go. My toast is burning.